65 million years ago, a single asteroid ended the reign of the most powerful creatures Earth had ever seen, the dinosaurs. But what if history repeated itself? What if that same asteroid appeared in our skies today, heading straight for us? Would humanity survive or face extinction? Doomsday 2.0. Let's rewind time 65 million years ago. A rock 10 kilometers wide, traveling faster than 20 times the speed of sound, slammed into Earth near what we now call the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico. The impact was apocalyptic. In the past, asteroids have been responsible for some of the most spectacular events in Earth's history. For example, the asteroid impact 4.5 billion years ago created the Chicxulub crater and helped make life on Earth possible. But this particular event was different. It marked the end of the Cretaceous period and the end of the dinosaurs. The asteroid, known as the Destroyer of Worlds, smashed into our planet with the force of 100 trillion tons of TNT. That's 10 million times the destructive power of the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Heat so intense forests thousands of kilometers away caught fire. Mega tsunamis taller than skyscrapers raced across oceans. Within hours, the entire planet was enveloped by a thick cloud of dust and ash, wrapping around Earth's curvature and blocking sunlight for years. The dinosaurs had ruled for more than 160 million years. They were huge, powerful, and completely dominant. But in just a few weeks, they were gone. Extinction delivered by the universe itself. But what if that asteroid struck today? Imagine New York City, Dubai, Karachi, or Tokyo, gone in seconds. Without warning, shock waves would flatten everything within 1,000 kilometers, turning iconic buildings to rubble and leaving millions dead in an instant. Then, the mega tsunamis would arrive, drowning coastlines and cities. Water 100 meters high would surge as far inland as 200 kilometers, swallowing New Orleans, New York City, Sydney, and Shanghai. Entire islands would vanish beneath the waves. In total, over 80% of coastal cities would be destroyed. And then the skies themselves would turn black. As billions of tons of debris filled the atmosphere, smoke and dust would block out the sun for months, maybe years. The temperature around the world would plummet by several degrees. Crops would fail. Animals would die. Within weeks, civilization would begin to collapse, not in centuries, but in weeks. The asteroid that killed the dinosaurs happened over millions of years ago. Back then, life on Earth seemed unstoppable. Today, however, the situation is radically different. Today, Earth is home to over 8 billion people. Over 80% live in cities, and in just a few decades, megacities with over 10 million residents will become the norm. Humans have built our entire way of life around the reliable patterns of weather and climate. We've spread ourselves across every corner of the planet and built complex systems of agriculture, water management, energy production, and transportation. It's an intricate web of systems, processes, and infrastructure that keeps billions fed, clothed, watered, and entertained. But that web is delicate. Disruptions anywhere can trigger a catastrophic collapse everywhere. A sudden shift in temperature can cause mass starvation. Changes in rainfall can lead to droughts and wildfires. Extreme weather can cripple transportation networks and communication systems. And the death of domesticated animals can bring down agricultural systems. An asteroid impact could trigger all these problems at once. But here's the difference. Unlike the dinosaurs, humans can fight back. So far, no asteroid has been hurtling towards Earth. At least, none that we know of. If one did appear in our skies, though, humanity would have a range of options for fighting back. NASA's DART mission in 2022 was humanity's first real attempt at deflecting an asteroid. It worked. By smashing a spacecraft into an asteroid, scientists moved its path by 32 minutes. While the effect was small, it proved that an asteroid's path could be changed, giving us hope that one day we'll be able to move any threatening rock safely away from Earth. Other missions are also underway, such as the Hera probe that's mapping out the Dinosaur-Killer's crater. Meanwhile, scientists are developing new technologies for future asteroid deflection missions. Nuclear-powered interceptors could be used to ram asteroids off course, or explode nuclear bombs near the rock to gradually change its path. Some crazy ideas are even being proposed, such as giant space lasers or gravity tractors. This is a machine designed to fly alongside an asteroid, pulling it off its path using artificial gravity. The good news is, humanity has many options for defending against an incoming asteroid. The bad news is, we don't yet have a guaranteed plan. So how big does an asteroid have to be before we need to worry? To answer that question, let's imagine two scenarios. In the first scenario, we have an asteroid slightly smaller than the one that killed the dinosaurs. Like its famous cousin, this asteroid is 10 kilometers wide. However, unlike its famous cousin, this asteroid is discovered well in advance, perhaps years or decades before it's due to strike. If it were to hit Earth, devastation would be unavoidable. Cities near the impact site would be obliterated, and the entire planet would suffer through extreme weather and crop failures. But humanity might have a chance to survive if given enough time to prepare. In this scenario, humanity's best chance would be to use nuclear weapons to destroy the asteroid. By detonating multiple nuclear bombs along its path, the asteroid could be broken into smaller pieces, which could then be more easily deflected away from Earth. The problem is this plan comes with risks of its own. Fragments could strike Earth and cause massive damage. Also, we don't have enough nuclear weapons to fully destroy such a large asteroid. It would take years to mount an effective defense. And by that time, the asteroid would be much closer to Earth, making it more difficult to divert. Now let's look at the second scenario. This time, the asteroid is much smaller, only 1 kilometer wide. This size is actually pretty common when it comes to asteroids. And luckily, there are no current asteroids of this size on a collision course with Earth. However, it's worth discussing what would happen if one did appear in our skies tomorrow. An asteroid this size is small compared to the one that killed the dinosaurs, but it would still be devastating. The impact would obliterate cities nearby. Tsunamis would sweep across the ocean, and global temperatures would plunge. Food shortages and extreme weather would likely cause civilization to collapse within weeks. Deflecting an asteroid this size would be trickier still. Our best chance would probably be the gravity tractor. But this method would take years to slow the asteroid down enough to avoid a collision. By the time Earth would be safe, the asteroid would be long gone. Perhaps it would eventually return, setting its sights on a collision course with Earth again. In this scenario, humanity's best chance would be the kinetic impactor, which is basically a spacecraft that flies directly into the asteroid, destroying it. Unfortunately, it would take years to get such a mission ready, and by that time, it might already be too late. In the end, an asteroid this size would probably spell doom for humanity. But what if an asteroid the size of the Dinosaur-Killer was hurtling towards Earth? If detected early, humanity might have a slim chance to survive, but we'd have to act fast. Scientists would try to work out its composition to figure out the best way to deflect it. Then, a mission would need to be mounted, either to break the asteroid apart or to alter its path. But it's worth remembering that this asteroid is 10 kilometers wide. No matter what method we used, it would take months to move it off course. And even if successful, the asteroid would still pose a serious threat. Fragments or pieces knocked off its path would rain down onto Earth, causing serious damage. Once the asteroid was on a confirmed collision course, it would be too late. There's simply no way to protect billions of people from an impact of that size. In the end, the world would be reshaped by the impact and humanity would face a brutal struggle just to survive. So the question is, could we survive Doomsday 2.0? Maybe. If detection systems give us decades of warning, technology might save us. But if the asteroid came suddenly, without warning, humanity could face the same fate as the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs never saw it coming, but we can. The question is, will we act before it's too late? What do you think? Would humans survive Doomsday 2.0 or would we vanish like the dinosaurs? Tell us in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more epic what-if stories about our fragile planet.